Welcome to the BFC, the Black Freedom Collective, episode 1.
Yeah, boy.
You are here with Omar Reid and
Natty Ndlovu from South Africa.
Come on, say no more.
Yeah.
We're not in South Africa right now. We are currently at the network school in an undisclosed location,
Artificial locations.
an island near Singapore. Yeah, and I guess we have this mission turn into a startup society that we want to have a podcast about, and this is the first episode. So bear with us as we figure out how to do this podcasting thing. And yeah, so I guess the first question is like, all right, what is Black Freedom Collective? What's the mission? Like, what is it you care about? And how do you plan to achieve that mission?
You legit look like you're talking to someone straight.
Oh yeah.
That's funny, but all right, go ahead.
So yeah, let me just quickly lay this foundation, and then we'll get into the actual interesting stories that people are gonna love us for. So yeah, so it all starts with like all of this is formed from conversations from for years between all of us, in the diaspora, mainly AI dudes. But the overarching mission that sort of got crystallized when me and Natty started working really closely together was build collective wealth, achieve generational freedom.
Yeah.
And okay, cool. You have a nice big mission statement, but how do you do that? What's the theory of change? And the theory of change we have is the following. There's 4 pillars. One is to improve mental health. The second is to improve physical health. Third is to build a community capable of collective action. And then fourth is build wealth and power. These are pretty critical because you need to do all these things in parallel in order to change the system for the betterment of our people. And so that's the mission. And those are the pillars of essentially the Black Freedom Collective. And now we're going to tell you the story of like, how do we even get here? Why do we even care about that mission?
Can I just add to that?
For sure.
So the BFC is actually some form of it's a network state that we're getting into. So I think the moral deficits and
we could talk about that.
Yeah, so the moral deficits and the moral innovation.
Yes.
That's I think it would be
Yep.
Yeah, I think it would be great to just before we go into our own personal crazy stories, it would be amazing to let the listeners know that this is just actually that's where sort of this what inspired this. So us being the AI dudes in the diaspora, I suppose we'll come back to those experiences.
Yeah. I'll read the moral deficit because I'm not gonna lie, I have to read it off the slides. I have to pull out. So if you're a Black person, you all know these moral deficits from your life experience.
Them other people know too.
But I hope so. Some people don't agree with this.
It's clear as day for everyone.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask them Afrikaans brothers, and they're soon already.
Soon, yo. You might just cancel on the.
Oh man. Okay, so the moral deficit is that systemic oppression of Black people is accepted. And the poor societal conditions that the Black people are in, as a result of their oppression, is accepted. So that's when we look at societies, whether if we're looking in South Africa, Black people in South Africa, the Black people in America, Black people in the UK, these are the issues we're seeing. Black people in Rwanda, all over the world. Like, historically, the racial oppression of Black people has been just global, and we just see the same patterns of behavior that stem from that. So that's how we can relate on those things, but just coming from slightly different angles.
So someone might probably freak out like, oh no, you guys, you're making these huge blanket statements about the oppression of Black people. Mm-hmm. We are aware that we all, on paper, there are the freedoms now. Mm-hmm. But if you really look deeply into things, the nuances of things, come on, man.
Hey, it's still there, bro.
What are we doing here?
Exactly. And so the moral innovation, which is nuts that we even have to state it as a moral innovation, is that systemic oppression of Black people is unacceptable. And the harmful effects of systemic oppression on Black people are also unacceptable. And that's how we get to our theory of change about mental health, physical health, collective action, wealth, and power. Because that's how we push to resolve these oppressions that we blah 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 blah.
Yeah,
My word
so-
just failed me.
Now, so on those 4 pillars, then what do we coming from those moral deficits and the moral
Innovation.
innovation?
Yeah.
Is saying that as Black people, we're not really like crying to anybody like, "Yo, come save us, come save us."
Nah.
We're saying we can
Got
go
it.
together, we can align on values, align on identify problems that we
Facts.
care about that are affecting us, then
Mm-hmm.
collectively come together
Facts.
and try to solve these on our own.
100%.
Just in case it sounded like, oh,
Yeah.
where's the savior?
I read a great article, and it's great title. I'm not going to tell you about the article, though. The title explains it itself. It's called Solidarity, Not Charity. And I think that is the whole thing. And that's why it's like, how do we build collectively and then achieve that generational freedom? That's the whole premise of the Startup Society. And that's why the tools from the network states, and blockchain are super helpful because it allows us to work together. So I think we did a decent overview at a very high level of like what Black Freedom Collective is. Maybe we want to speak more about the pillars, or we could just start telling the stories in the
I think it will come clearer as we go.
Yeah.
Because it's got the issue that like the notion of network states is very new. It's gonna be
bro. We need a whole podcast with Balaji to explain that shit.
yeah.
It's tough.
Actually, people can go check out the Balaji Lex Friedman interview.
Yes.
Yeah, the Balaji interview on Lex Friedman. It's 8 hours.
Yeah. Warning, it's 8 whole hours. But if you want to just get like an overview, you can just go to his book online. So you just type in the Network State book. It's online for free on a website, and you can read it there. It's super long, but he has like network state in one image, network state in one sentence, network state in one paragraph, network state in one essay. So depending on how deep you want to go, you can like choose.
And I think we should be able to put links as well.
Hell yeah. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna give links. Because a lot of these ideas are like frontier, as Balaji likes to say. So yeah, we're really trying to do something new, and it's sometimes hard to communicate, even to communicate to people. Oh, hey mom, I'm going to this network school. It's on an island somewhere near Singapore. There's only 150 people.
Like, so what are you guys doing there?
Well, we did. I don't know. We had no clue. And it sounds weird, but that's how, when you do anything frontier, it always sounds weird. Like crypto, when it first started, probably sounded ridiculous.
That's that article that you're reading. The post what?
Oh, the post-normal. Post-normal.
Yeah, we're living in post-normal times, and I think this is one of those aspects that are tackling
Facts.
life in the post-normal times.
Yes.
But I feel like we're getting sidetracked.
Yeah, we're about to end up talking about some...
Who are these dudes talking? Who are we?
Oh, yeah. Who are you, Natty?
Okay. So, again, my name is Natty Ndlovu. I'm from South Africa. Born and raised. I have a background in computer science, machine learning, artificial intelligence, and applied mathematics.
Sorry, boss. Man chopped that up 9 different ways. Computer science, applied mathematics, machine learning, AI research. Sorry, bad man. Continue.
No, I think
Talk that talk.
I think it's great to start there. So, because that's how we met.
That is very true. Yes, it is. It is.
From South Africa, we're just like, we're not, Africa in general was never really part of the global community for like artificial intelligence and
100%.
stuff.
Yeah.
Then organizations like the Deep Learning Endeavor
Yes.
and Black AI
Yes.
came up and
Yeah.
shipped us to America. I mean,
It was a positive shipping this time. They weren't slaves.
no. So yeah, we got a chance to go to the biggest conference in Europe's. It's called NeurIPS now, but back then it was called NIPS, Neural Information Processing Systems. I think that was the first time there were so many Black people at that conference, and we met you at the airport, right?
Yeah. We
were waiting for Mustafa.
Yeah, I met these men. Shit, let me do a quick overview. You need to finish your overview, then we can go into this.
Yeah, so that's my I have a background in that artificial intelligence and research, primarily
Young
research.
people, bro, give them names, bro. Tell them you're not a small boy out here, bro. Give them names. Which university?
So, oh yes,
Yeah.
I went to the University of the Witwatersrand in Johannesburg, where I did everything from my undergrad to, I parked my PhD, but we'll come back to that.
And Wits, for those who don't know, is like one of the best universities on the continent of Africa.
One of the best.
So this is not...
I'd argue that is best in artificial intelligence.
In AI, all right, number one on the continent. And okay, if you're Western and you think it's not serious, these guys will run laps around you mathematically. It's not even close.
Actually, some of the biggest names in AI globally, they came from Wits. It's like Simo Puppet. He's like the father of, I think it's called the father of intelligence. Nando De Freitas.
Nando, of course. Deep Mind.
And Shakir Mohammed.
Deep Mind also. Benji. Talk that talk.
Of course, he as well.
Come on.
Shilizi Marala. So, all these guys came from West. So, that's the university that I come from.
So, now you man know. This is my little small boy. I know you Western people think they grew up over there.
Then I've also worked at research institutions.
Yes.
Oak Ridge National Laboratory in the US.
I
think I was the first black person from Africa. Again.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I was the first one to get that gig. And dude, when I went there, it was crazy. They did like the demographics at some point.
Yeah.
It was 8-9% white.
Yeah.
10% Indian and Latino. Like 1% black.
Whoa, dude, that nigga was you.
So that's like including...
Whoa, dude.
That's like including the cleaners and
even including the cleaners.
It's like, but anyway.
They were reaching and saying, how we get this 1% up?
Yeah. But anyway, so I did research. This is in 2018. So we met in 2017.
You met in 2017.
Then in 2018, I went to the US. I came back 2019. I went to work at Amazon. Cape Town. I was a machine learning engineer. Then I left Amazon. I went to the CSR. My career sort of kicked off at the CSR because I'd be in and out as an intern.
Can you explain to the people what CSIR is?
So CSR is the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research.
Yes.
That's basically the government branch that's responsible for all the cutting-edge research in South Africa. Yeah. So I started my research with them from my honors to my master's and from my PhD at all. So when I left Amazon, I decided to come back to CSR because I wanted to work on problems that are meaningful to me. So by the time I came back, I wrote my own proposals. I was leading a team.
Nice. So what was your title there?
I was a senior researcher.
Got it. Yeah.
I was doing much more than that. Yeah. I also I ran an internship program there. Very successful. I remember interviewing I think about 20 candidates.
Nice.
That would just finish their degrees.
Yeah.
But they wanted to get into the working space. So I literally designed the whole curriculum from scratch to teach them from the mathematical underpinnings of machine learning, statistical underpinnings of machine learning. And actually, even as far as introduction to Python, like programming and stuff. So we brought all that together, and these men are flourishing now in the industry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then
I proposed my own projects. So there was, this is going to sound like buzzwords, but one of the things that I found that CSR has to be responsible for as the biggest research branch in South Africa is how AI is used in South Africa. So looking into things like bias, the notion of bias in machine learning.
Okay, yeah. Just quickly explain bias, because the Western people may be thinking a different kind of bias.
So I guess I'll give you one example there. So bias is like you train an AI model, all right, with for one specific domain. So let's say the task is to detect suspicious behavior. All right. So bias. So if you train it with in a specific domain, right, its inferences, its results will be as good as the data that is trained with. If you were say you've trained a model to detect suspicious behavior in Hong Kong, right? The definitions and what suspicious behavior looks like in Hong Kong, that's what your model would be good at. Now, if you try to take the same model, put it Midtown Johannesburg, and try to detect suspicious behavior, it's going to be biased towards the data that it was trained on.
Yes.
Right. So then that's the thing that we're looking into. How do you make sure that this model actually serves the domain that it's meant to serve?
Yes. And then let me make sure we stay on just the high level of the rest of your career, because we're just trying to flex to make sure people know who you are. And then after that,
I was a senior manager for data science at Standard Bank, and that went in very interesting ways. Being from an academic background and research background, you realize that corporates has a different way of dealing with
progress, and value.
I think our stories are about to merge, so I'm gonna pause here and bring your stories in.
Yeah.
I've left Standard Bank now,
and now you are the chief scientific officer of Reid Innovation.
Oh, at the moment, yes. Right now, as we speak, I'm the chief scientific officer. Man's been growing, you know. I'm the chief scientific officer at Reid Innovations.
100%.
You will explain better what Reid Innovations is.
Yeah. Okay. My background, brief summary: studied computer science at the University of Bath. And I'm an old man now, guys. And then during there, I worked at an AI startup. So this is 2017. So I had to work for 1 year. So 2017, I worked at an AI startup in Tokyo called Cogent Labs. And that's when I actually became like a research engineer, because they were like, well, we have you for 1 year. We need AI engineers. You are now it. And I was like, okay.
What does that mean?
Exactly. What does that mean? And they were like, yeah, read all of these research papers. I'm like, what? What is going on right now?
And you're an undergrad at this stage.
I was an undergrad.
It's important for people to know that.
I did one module called Fundamentals of Pattern Analysis or something. They didn't even call it like machine learning. Like machine learning 1. It was just called pattern analysis. This was like before things really like popped off
for the buzz
for normal people. Yeah. So 2017. I wish I bought Nvidia stock back then. I didn't, and I'll get to why. But anyway, yeah. So I spent a year there. I learned so much, and that's how I ended up actually going to NeurIPS, this Black in AI workshop, and meeting amazing people like Natty and some other characters who, for sure, will end up on this podcast at some point.
Definitely.
But then, yeah. So I'd always actually been in startup land. So when I graduated, I went to go work at another startup. This was actually a Taiwanese AI computer vision startup. So they made their own cameras, run AI models on it, and it's for security. So like they had cameras all over the world trying to detect, suspicious behavior and flagging it for security guards to be like, all right, we need to go check that out. But then I ended up on the weekends, I was helping this lady out with this mental health idea that she had.
This is at Bath.
This is after I had graduated, after I'd worked for about before I even got that job at the AI security startup.
Yeah.
I actually started helping out this lady called Mandana. And she had this idea she has a background in computational neuroscience, which is just using maths and computation to understand how the brain works. And she really wants to build something that can help people reduce the cost of therapy, increase the effectiveness of therapy. And I was like, I like you. I'll help you. I didn't go full time because I was like, can you pay me? Because I was looking for a job at the time. And she goes, nah, I can't pay you. And I said, the way my bank account is set up, I got a check-in and a So I was like, I'll just help you on the weekends. And so I worked that AI security job. And then on the weekends, we were making some movements, and we actually got into Techstars. And if you're not familiar with Techstars, it's like a tech incubator or accelerator program. And so they give you a bit of money. I think it was like $120K. And you go through this 3-month program. They introduce you to all these investors, tell you how to build, blah, 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 whatever. Anyway, so I was the CTO there for 3 years. Well, from the beginning. So I was the first hire and the CTO, and was there for 3 years. We raised like $3.6 million, and we hired a bunch of people, made a bunch of cool products. And then the final product that really did well, at least to me, was the Elena for social anxiety app. And that had like 100,000 plus users. And yeah, it really helped change people's lives. So that was really powerful to see.
That's really awesome.
Like, I'll just give you an example. Like, there was a testimonial we had for a user who their social anxiety was so bad that they didn't want to call the doctor's office for an appointment, even though they were sick, because they would have to talk to another person. And I was like, what? Like, I didn't realize it could get that bad. But after she went through the program on the app, she was able to then actually call the doctor and actually also like visit her friend's neighborhood. And I was like, well, like that one thing alone, I was like, oh, this was worth it. Because it's not just like you had someone spent more time on TikTok. It's like, no. You genuinely change someone's behavior. You change the way their brain operates. And that's like the most powerful and transformative thing.
Just if I can just chime in on that, I think this story that you're telling now is very important for the people that have been listening to know that the 4 pillars, the mental health, is there because we both genuinely care about mental health from 100%. Personal experiences and from other people's experiences.
100%.
So
Yeah. So that is a very important pillar, especially in the Black community, particularly.
Bro.
Like, that's a pillar we really need to focus on and push for. But yeah, we will go into that one later because we'll be here for another 2 more hours if we be doing that. I hope this hasn't stopped. Anyways, and then that leads me but I left that company because I was super burnt out, and that sort of leads to how our stories start to merge. And okay, so this is when the stories start to merge. So now I'm like,
this is not on the mental health stuff, right? So you've left it. You've left there, and so we coming from AI jobs, high paying, like you could jump from company to company, and
yeah,
and the job market's in it,
bro. This is how nuts I was. I literally left the company, and I was like, it was July, and I was like, I'm going on holiday for 2 months. I'm a software engineer, I'm a CTO. Like, I can come back in 2 months, and the job market, I'm gonna get a job in a day. I come back, the news is Facebook let go of like 1,000 employees, IBM let go of 10,000 employees, Amazon let's go, and I'm like, oh my God.
And we all know who started that trend.
And it was like, what do I do? And then anyway, I was actually even burnt out still. A month or 2 holiday doesn't solve burnout, by the way, if you guys don't know that. You need like way longer.
Burnouts are crazy, and the fact that people are not talking enough about burnouts.
Bro.
Burnouts are crazy.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's a pandemic.
Bro, deadass. I was working in mental health. I was like, burnout, okay, all right, you're tired, I get it. Nah, bro, burnout will mess you up.
How's the irony of that?
Hey, it's mad.
Getting mental health issues from working on mental health apps.
That is so funny. But yeah, so went through that whole experience, and I was super overweight also. That's another thing. Like, you know how Elon Musk fluctuates weight all the time? Yeah, that was me, bro. And I was locked in. Had this belly, bro.
It's some kaba thing.
What's a kaba thing?
In this South African, kaba is a belly. Like big tummy.
Beer belly, bro. Looking like I drink beer. I don't even drink beer. And so then I was like, bro, enough of this burnout. There's some other stuff in between, but I'm get to that. But from January, I was like, what are the pillars I want to sort of live my life by? And I was like, obviously I care about mental health. My physical health has been lacking, and I feel like I need to solve that. So I was like, okay, I got myself a whoop and just started banging exercise. Now I'm getting back into shape.
Now you're back.
You know, we're back.
If this was a video,
we're back.
We're not looking wham, right?
Yeah. Now we're looking wham. Hey, the network schools help with that as well.
Said you Mandem's got the best genetics. I feel like they're trivializing our work though. It's like, you guys, you're an added advantage because of superior genetics.
Hey, it's a good point, because if I showed people pictures of me when I was like 13, I was super skinny.
Me too.
Yeah. So we've been putting in work from time. Like, people know, like, I threw discus for England. I was lifting weights. I had to put in the work. I know you had to put in the work to be your size also.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're sort of still on this.
On the mental health issue, why are you going through this? Yeah. I've left Standard Bank, and the way I left wasn't. It was a bit of a shock to my system. So there are things that I'd always cared about, like I used to do volunteer work in addition to the stuff I was doing at the center. I used to do volunteer work, like just like with Cyborg Discovery Center, where they would bring in kids from like the rural areas on buses. Then I'd go to them, talk about AI. So what I was trying to do there is, like, most of the people, in addition to the mental health issues in Black communities, they don't even know what AI is.
Facts.
And now it's like everywhere.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to raise awareness on what AI is. You don't want people thinking Terminator when they hear AI.
Yeah.
So just trying to guide them. So I'm like, this is the path that you need to take to get to be, to do this, and this is what you can use it for, and this is how it's already affecting you in your life. Just sort of to bring that awareness. Then I also had I supervise students as well. Masters, honors.
So honors means bachelor's for anyone outside of South Africa.
Honors is like fourth year. At VETS in South Africa, you have the 3-year degree.
Yeah.
Then you add one extra year.
Okay.
That's for the honors.
Yeah.
Then 2 extra years of masters.
Oh my God, that's way too long in school.
Yeah. Okay. So postgrad basically starts after the 3-year degree. That's not postgrad.
Oh.
Honors is postgrad. Yeah.
Honors counts as towards a postgrad.
It's already a postgrad because
you graduated.
Yeah, but that's in Bachelor of Science, like in mathematical science.
Yeah.
But in other fields like electrical engineering,
yeah,
it's only just a 4-year degree.
Got it.
So I'll be supervising students like that, and then I'll be in my own personal capacity. I'll be helping like career coaching, career advice.
Yeah.
It was not structured. It wasn't formal, but it would be like you spoke to one student, you gave them advice, and then you go they went and spoke to someone else.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you should talk to Natty about this. And there is. So it's not like you're doing this because you are trained to do it. It's just sharing experiences.
Yeah.
People are coming back like, yo, bro, like I remember so many people calling me like, how do I do this? How do I do this? I'm in this situation. So I was just sharing my own experiences.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how similar our experiences are.
100%.
As people in research, as people in AI in general.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I never really brought myself to do those things. Like those things. And as much as I was working at Amazon, going to the US and stuff, things that really made me feel alive. Thing, bro.
Yes.
Like, but you know, nobody paying for those things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I started doing less and less of that when I went to Standard Bank. Because then when I went to the bank, I don't want to mention the bank. Because I'm going to throw shots at them. Yeah. So when I went to the bank, it was busy, like really busy. You know?
Yeah.
I sort of stopped doing all these things that used to give me life. I just started focusing.
Yeah.
And it's like these soul crushing feelings you get.
Yeah.
And the nature of the work that you're doing as well. I'm not saying that at banks are not really doing interesting work. But the meaningfulness of work to me and what they're doing and stuff. It's a bit of a so that by the time I leave, we clash on some solution.
Yeah.
They're a big company, bro. I can't say that. That's it.
They find this podcast. We're finished.
Bro, I don't want to be dealing up with nobody's lawyers. But yeah, so they had an approach that they were using to a certain problem. We didn't align on it. So I basically leave and without any promise. AI job.
Yep.
Getting any job.
Yeah.
Applying and
applying. Yo, I feel you, man.
But from time to time, I also did some government contracts, and so that's sort of how I started transitioning into. It was mostly quick. So it was like there are these government institutions, and I have all these skills, and you hear some of the problems that they're dealing with, like, oh, I can. It was one of the campaigns like the Nazi just before the election.
The what campaign?
Nazi is fun. Like basically, it's like here's a job. It was a campaign by the government.
The campaign is called "Here is the Job" campaign.
It's Nazi is fun. Basically, in English, the English translation of that is here's a job.
That's the best campaign name I ever heard in my life.
Yeah, so they promised jobs to 8,000 people. 8,000 people, but they got like 1.2 million applications. And they had...
Whoa.
So initially they were trying to process this manually. Anyway, long story short, I got in.
Yeah.
Then we're working on a whole other potential projects with government.
Yeah. So let's talk about. This is a good point to talk about some difficulties with like governments or dealing with governments. Particularly, hey, please, South Africa, don't come on. Just making a point.
Let's just say governments in general.
Let's say some governments can be corrupt. Not too scared.
I think they are.
I'll cut that.
It's all right. No, it's all right.
33, 38.
It's all right. It's like it's not necessarily. No, you can do it. It's not necessarily an issue of corruption, but it's an issue of problem solution spaces. It's like sometimes the people with the solutions, they're in different spaces to the people with the problems. So some of the issues that South Africa is facing as a country and how those could be solved. There's a disconnect between the people that have the skills to solve those problems and the people that have either the budgets or ownership of the problem that can't be solved.
Where does this disconnect come from? Surely if they want their problem solved and these AI engineers want to make money.
So I think AI has...
Or there's engineers in general.
Yeah, AI or engineers in general. AI has grown way too fast to a point where some people are still sitting on problems thinking that they're difficult to solve. Because they don't know, they're not aware of the solution spaces that exist in AI. So that needs to be solved.
Okay.
What I was trying to do after I left Standard Bank was trying to talk to some government officials. I did speak to a few, like, look, we can do this, we can do this. Like the example I just gave now.
Yeah.
But getting actual projects with something, there's always something missing, man.
Missing.
It's always something missing, man.
Missing.
Yeah. So by the time we reconnect, okay. So I lost my job. I left my job. Doing this thing. I get this one good gig, and it's not enough to last you.
Yeah. And I guess that's where I sort of pop in.
Yeah.
Because I started doing this AI. Well, what happened was I was like, I did a couple of interviews and they'd always ask me the question, Mom, you've built a company before. Why don't you do another one? And it always stuck with me. I was like, you know what? I'm going to focus on my health. So I stopped interviewing for 4 months. And then, so just before I went to South Africa for the first time, my friend said, Omar, I need an AI team. Can you be my AI team? And I said, right, I need money, bro. I need money today. I need money yesterday. Bet. I'll do it. But I think the moral or the key point is to really talk about this first time I went to sub-Saharan Africa. I think this is the major point of this whole entire podcast. And it's going to lead into where we see, the Black Freedom Collective going in the future. And especially from my perspective, because, someone in the West, when people are like, I tell people, I'm going to South Africa for my friend's wedding. People are like, whoa, make sure you're okay. It's a bit dangerous. Are you sure you want to go? Blah-de-da-de-da. That barely crossed my mind. But people started making me question it. I was like, should I? Never been to Sub-Sahara, Saharan Africa. I've been to Morocco before, but it's not the same. So
it's dangerous.
It's dangerous, Omar. Even to the point where I was on the plane because I wasn't gonna let other people bother me. I have a lot of friends from South Africa. They're all great people. I wasn't really, too concerned. But when I was on the plane, there was this white Jewish dude on the plane.
Yeah.
And he tried to scare me. I'm not gonna lie, he got me a little bit. He was like, listen, I lived here, I grew up here, but now I mainly live in London, but we come back and forth. They don't respect human life. Omar, I see your watch, hide your watch, hide your jewelry, it's not safe out there. You know, where you stay? And I told him where he's staying. He's like, yeah, you know, put it in the safe.
And where were you staying in Braamfontein?
I was staying in Braamfontein in Joburg. Yeah, I literally went past Wits a bunch of times and I was like, this is a student town. What is he talking about? They don't respect life. Like, what is it? Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on. He's like, you know, they've made it harder to do business. And then my friend just butts in and he's like, you just don't have slaves anymore. Like, it's not like they made it harder to do business. You just can't like monopolize all the talent and the land anymore. Like, it's not like they made it harder. They made it fairer. Bro,
cheap labor.
We almost started debating this black and white thing on the plane.
Wait, so this guy that jumped in...
Slice.
Yeah, it's
Slice.
Oh, you flew with Slice?
I flew with Slice.
Oh, shit.
And so Slice is another, like, AI researcher.
It's a great argument from Slice.
Bro.
You don't have cheap labor no more.
Honestly, and he's like... Because the dude made that point. He was like, well, if you looked at the inequality, it defeats your point. You know, obviously, because, you know, most of the capital whether it's physical, mainly physical, is owned by the white people in South Africa. That's our whole history. We're not going to get into that. But the point is, Slice was right, and we almost ended up in debate, but the white dude was trying to scare me. And it was in my head a little bit, because in the West, people be asking me that question, and now I have a white South African telling me, you know, whoa, dude, you know, hide your fucking shoes and your socks, because they're going to take that from you too. So, you know, obviously, you know me, I'm going to the club the second and
these men are playing Karen in South Africa, bro.
And you know, I go to my place, no one bothers me, I'm fine. And I'm like, you know what, let's go to the club. My friends are gonna take me. I wear my watch, I wear my jewelry anyway. I'm not, you know, but I'm very cognizant. I'm from Croydon, so I'm not a stranger to danger. And
all right.
So or another way to the Americans, I've lived in Florida. I'm not a stranger to danger. And
let's go.
And so we pull up to this club, and the closer I get, the more nervous I'm getting. You know, I'm getting my hypervigilance on. And then we get outside the club, and there's a Lamborghini outside, and I'm like, I'm not the target market.
It's not about you, bro.
It's not about me. Who do I think I am? Like, I thought I was special here. Like,
I'm British.
Like, no, I'm not. Like, I'm broke. Like, I'm broke compared to this brother has a Lamborghini. They ain't robbing me.
Ain't nobody gonna steal your accent, bro.
And exactly. What are they gonna steal? The whole time in South Africa, I had no problem with safety. It was totally fine. Yes, there's people that come up to you and ask you for money, but that happens to me in London. That happens to me in New York. This is just a city thing. This is a poverty thing. So it's a bit, to me, it feels a bit overblown.
I think we'll come back like in detail on the issue of safety. I feel like there's so many talking points there.
Yes.
I have my own biases as a South African.
Yes.
And hearing what I'm hearing from these mandams that have never been to South Africa. Like,
yes.
Bro, am I missing something? Am I coming from a war zone? I
don't know. Bro, okay, this is why. I'll tell you. So we're at the network school now, and we're talking to people about, would you come to Africa, you know, to join, you know, our little network school over there, network state over there. People are like, yeah, where is it? We'd love to come. And then you say to them, South Africa, they're like, I've heard it's really dangerous over there. Is it safe? You know? And then we're both like, what? Safety? We're like, we're good. Like, we were good. Like, what?
I'm not saying there's no crime, but this don't make it sound like
brothers in a war zone, like
civil unrest.
Yeah,
I think that's because a certain group of people in South Africa that be playing Karen with South Africa, you know,
a certain group. The white people been acting like the black people are gonna take their land back for the last like 100 years or whatever it is. They've been worried about this.
It's just a redistribution of
resources. Yes, they're scared. Okay, before we go down that whole tangent.
Yeah, that's...
Anyway, so the point was, I went to South Africa. I had a great time. I loved it so much. I didn't even want to leave. I actually got lucky because British Airways plane was broken or something, so I got to spend the extra day in South Africa, and I was like, thank God. Amazing. There's a whole extra day of holiday here, and as I was leaving, I was like, I am buying a house here in South Africa. Like, this place is a hidden gem. Like, all of these stories have kept us from visiting like this amazing place with these like amazing people and this amazing history.
They're trying to treat South Africa like it's this little side chick, you know?
No, that's the main. That's the main. That's not a side, bro. That's a main. I'm telling you, bro. Woo. Anyway, South Africa is a great place, but what it really opened my eyes to is the potential that Africa has as a whole. Of like, okay, yes, we have a couple issues here or there, but from what I've seen in terms of like the talent of the people, the motivation, as we said, like there's 8 of the top 10 or all of the top 10 of the universities on the continent of Africa are South African. So we're talking about serious, highly educated people for the ones that do go to university with native English, a very young population. And I was like, whoa, this is like, if we get more entrepreneurship going over here, if we get people just to follow just the BFC principles, this whole shit is going to just get unlocked. Yeah. It's going to change like generations. And, you know, from an outside perspective as like an investor or someone wanting to build there compared to like over in the West, it's a lot cheaper. You know, the government is going to be more, depending on which country. Let's say Rwanda, for example, is a country they're going to be so supportive of you coming to not only improve their land, to improve their people and bring your knowledge, your expertise over to them. And so I was really struck by the potential, and all these fear mongering stories fell to the wayside, and I was like, we got something here. There's something here. And it felt like, you know, this feels like a frontier. You know, we go here, you build, something amazing is going to happen. And you can see that from future projected like GDP growth. I think Ray Dalio shared this literally today on Instagram. Like, I think number 6 or 7 is South Africa, you know, after like the Indias and the Turkeys and the Chinas and the Russias, etc. So I think there's a lot of value to be unlocked and created. You know, the people are there. The motivation is there. The talent is there. We just have to funnel that into the right places, bring the opportunities to them, bring capital to them, and something crazy can happen.
On that note, right? Thanks, by the way, thanks to Simpiwe for getting married.
And making me go there. Yeah.
So thanks, Simpiwe. What also makes South Africa a really interesting place for this, in terms of infrastructure.
Yes,
we're the same as the roads, infrastructure, and everything. I think we either the same or better than some Western cities.
100%. Let me. He's not capping. It's equivalent of being in Portugal. Like the infrastructure is the same. Like it was totally fine.
So then the youth being the population being young, there's a lot of youth. So what would make BFC really impactful in this? High levels of unemployment. Yeah. So there's a lot of untapped potential within the youth.
Yes.
I hear these stories about the government not being in alignment with these futuristic ideas, but what they're trying to solve as well is like unemployment.
Yes.
They just need somebody to talk to them. I'm sure some people have, of course, a bit on how to tackle this. And what are we doing here? These can be solutions for employment. Yeah. Empowering the people, 100%. Empowering black people, specifically. Solving unemployment. So we're still coming to that.
Yes.
So to recap what you've said, South Africa has great infrastructure.
Yes.
Great universities, great education.
Yes. Come on.
The population is young, youthful, and native
English. People here at the network school think he's British. Like every time we speak.
Oh yeah, I'm the only one from Africa here, by the way. And where you from? Where you from? So sometimes I just keep quiet because we do this together. And you respond, not from London. When I say, Johannesburg. What?
Yeah, surprised.
They'll be surprised. But yeah, so it's like all the ingredients that you can get in the West, but in Africa now. Yeah, the only thing that's lacking is maybe expertise on like product building.
Yes,
expertise or the capital.
Yes, let's double click on that. So I think our backgrounds are a representation of that. So Natty and actually all my South African friends, they are all like academic, amazing researchers working on very cool, forward-thinking things. And my background is a bit more like entrepreneurial, like building tech products and, you know, going through the processes of like raising money and, you know, building teams or whatever. And, you know, when I look at South Africa, they're about that academic life. To highlight this point, when I went to this Black and AI conference in the Near East in 2017, I was the only Western like black person. I think there was like another dude, but he was like first generation Nigerian, so I don't even want to count him.
The man from Oxford.
Which guy from Oxford?
The Nigerian.
The Nigerian guy I'm talking about was at Harvard actually.
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, you remember him? Tall.
Yeah, the tall.
Hey, shout out. I don't want to say his name. I don't remember his name exactly. But no, he was a cool guy.
Yeah. So
there's two, and there's a lot of people coming from the Black and AI, like so many people, but there's only two from the West because, you know, in the West, we just like, let me get our money. You know, let's bounce after the bachelors and just handle business. Over there, they're like, nah, bro, where there's levels to this shit, we keep pushing to the highest levels of academia. Then they go and, you know, make their money that way. And I think the combination of the two, if I can bring my own personal expertise in building products or building tech teams, and you know, and also like opportunities or capitals or like network to these people, like we together can help them. One, we're an example of building a company together and making money, which we'll come to. But then also, if we show others how to do the same, you know, take these high expertise, you know, AI, machine learning, STEM people, turn them into entrepreneurs, you're gonna see some crazy businesses come from these people. And you know, even one of the UN's goals in South Africa is to increase the amount of competition. So more small businesses, more medium-sized businesses.
Sustainable development.
Yes.
Goals. So I wanted to chat in on that as well, on the South Africa issue, right? So I think if you go from, let's say, from high school, right? Where are people going after high school? So you have a very small, tiny majority going, or tiny portion of the population going to uni.
Yep.
Right. Then within that, the majority, or another tiny portion is going into the sciences and stuff. Right. By the time you get to honors, I'm glad we explained what honors is. Honors computer science, I think first year there's about 300 of us in the class. By the time we get to honors, 40 to 50 people. Now, what tends to happen after that, what I'm trying to explain here, like the different career paths that people have.
Yeah.
By August, so the academic year till December.
Yeah.
By August,
yeah,
everybody's got a job offer.
Yes.
Then you have like 1 or 2 or 3 people that really want to push their careers further. They go to research. So there's the straight employment.
Got it.
Right. Because then it looks like coming from being a student and the monies that men are being offered because of computer science.
Yeah.
And it stagnates after. Then research, you're not making as money as your friends that have gone straight into the workforce.
Yep.
Now, what's missing there?
Oh yeah.
You hardly get anyone getting either not going for research or not going for a corporate job.
Yeah.
Just starting their own products.
Yeah.
That if we had that, that would go into fixing, plowing back the benefits into the community.
100%.
There would be upward mobility, payment and that's missing.
And job creation.
People
creating companies, and they're gonna need people, and then you have more. And also that competition in the sense that if there's 4 companies that are just hiring everyone, they basically have a monopoly on labor, or the term is monopsony. And hey, they can set any work conditions. Monopsony. Yeah. That's like there's one. Well, in that case, it'd be like one company that sort of has all the labor. So in, for example, like Australia, like there's like one mining company in like one town who has everything, which means they can make people work as however hard they want, because hey, if you're not good enough or you don't meet our standards, goodbye. Now you can't get a job nowhere else. What are you gonna do, right? So now you end up with sort of bad conditions for the people who are working because they have nowhere else to go. Increases the competition means it's actually gonna have better conditions for the workforce over there. So I think like it really is going to sort of transform the landscape of business in South Africa and raise the standards for actually a lot of people. So I think it's like such an important thing to
competition
look into.
for the workforce for
for the
employers,
businesses.
for the businesses, and also it will help them. Not help. It will revitalize like innovation. I think the more entrepreneurs we can get, because I see some of these corporate companies.
Yeah.
The things they're worrying about, they're something like, you find them serious. Like, they're spending millions and millions of money on. And I breathe. Okay.
On
suboptimal projects.
Suboptimal things.
Suboptimal things, whereas they could be funding entrepreneurship. But then they can't do that because then
they're like, okay, yeah.
So they're going to do charity and then some other twisted ways. That doesn't really bring up. If I'm wrong, any corporate institutions, if I'm wrong about this, please, I would like to hear.
Yeah. Come on.
Who's funding who?
Yeah. And any company.
Yeah, please.
Please come on. We'd love to have you if we're getting something wrong.
I am aware that there are some that are funding, but it's not enough. From what I'm seeing, it's not enough. Our unemployment is going off the charts. Mm-hmm. And we keep saying South Africa, but I believe that these problems apply. Obviously, we're going to start in South Africa. Oh,
we're skipping a bit, yeah.
We'll come back to that. So, yeah, this is how we met.
So, we met. We love the potential of Africa, and that sort of leads to. So, we're gonna get to how we got to the network school, and so cool. So, me and Natty start working together. So he is the CSO, and we work together solving problems for our clients. We use AI software, help people transform their businesses, make more money, blah blah blah. And so that was awesome. So I did the same playbook. I saw that there's talent in Africa.
Wait, how did you just say bloody blah? We
bloody.
just helped the company increase their revenue by how much?
$1 million.
And you bloody
2 weeks.
No, we're doing important work here.
Yeah, we're doing cool stuff. I'm a humble guy. I don't mean to but yeah, no, we use AI to really help people capture more value. However we want to say it. But the main point is that I applied the same playbook. I went to South Africa. I saw, whoa, dude, there's all this talent. They're doing amazing things and they're underutilized. So when Natty, popped up, I was like, oh, he's around. He's free.
Yeah.
Lock in. I need someone on this project like now.
Let's go.
Because I don't have enough hands, bruh. I need someone who can handle this. And Natty was like the perfect fit. So I did the playbook and it worked out. We just told you, what we did for one of our clients. So it's worked out. It's working out. Been great working with him. But I sort of sprung like a random thing on him. So it was like maybe August when he started working full time at Reid Innovations. We call it RI just for short. I also don't like saying my name. It's weird, but
we have to change that.
Yeah. And then maybe September, Balaji. So Balaji's Srinivasan. So he's this crypto tech guy. He has this whole notion of like network states, and it was like, okay, we're going to bring this to life. We're doing this 3 months, basically pop-up city on an island near Singapore. You're going to learn, earn, and burn. That's basically the information we had. And he put that tweet out. I saw it. I clicked the link, signed up immediately. And I said, Natty, sign up, please. You may not know who this guy is, but if we get in, it's going to be fucking cool.
And your excitement. I remember the day you told me. And then when they looked at the book, the podcast, I'm seeing him on Lex.
Yeah.
8 hours.
Bruh.
I listened to that whole thing, bro. I watched it.
Yeah.
Like, it's this dude.
Yeah. And you were like, okay, this guy's about something, and I can imagine a lot of the ideas resonated with you,
bro,
coming from South Africa,
Bro, like, immediately it's like, this man, like his model, the network states model, we need that for South Africa. Like, all the problems that we've mentioned so far, the network states model, perfect fit, better solution, less pressure on the government, decentralized, collaborative action.
Yeah. No. You're correct. So sprung that up on him because I knew if it resonated with me and we have very similar values, it's gonna resonate with him. And then we both got in. So like the very first cohort, like the first 150 people to get accepted out of the thousands of people that applied across the world. So we got in, and we like literally weeks later.
No, bro, wait. We'll skip the detail here, bro.
Which detail?
So you were gonna come to South Africa?
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. I missed the detail. Okay, guys. I was so in love with the idea of like South Africa and like going there, working with the local talent and like, you know, building up the company there.
We're gonna do a hacker house.
We literally were about to do a hacker house, and almost booked the Airbnb and the flights and everything, but I saw the Balaji link.
All up.
And I was like, oh, never mind. We're going to do the same thing we were going to do in South Africa, but we're just going to do it on an island near Singapore. That was close. And we are going to, with the added benefit of meeting a bunch of cool people that are ideologically aligned, roughly. And so even before this idea of like, oh, come and do the network stay or make a startup society, we were sort of already going to start doing that already.
That's why it was an easy resonation, because these are the things we've been talking about.
Yes.
Like something like, oh, okay, cool. Yes.
So now we just, you know, took the leap, and we came to the network school, and there's a lot of stories.
You know, when you say a leap, bro, my journey here was crazy.
Madness. Hey, we're keeping this story, like, we're reducing a lot of complexity here. It's really a madness if we really want to go into it.
It will come up. But yeah, now we get here.
And and then I guess we sort of had maybe, my goal was just spend time working with Natty in person. This is like the first time we ever really worked together in person.
The second time we were meeting in person.
Second time we met.
Working together. Yeah, but it didn't feel like that because we've been talking all the time all along.
Yeah. And so yeah, that was like the number one goal. So we're doing, and we did that. And what was another benefit of meeting all of these like amazing people and
this community?
Bro, there's so many stupid, clever, like
futuristic nerds. It's like
unbelievable.
Talk to any random person.
Bro, you'll be there for 2 hours.
It's a podcast, you know.
Facts.
Every conversation could easily.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. We have breakfast, you know, and everyone has breakfast at roughly the same time because we all have to do the workouts in the morning. You will have sit down. Let's say you want to have breakfast in 30 minutes. Good luck. It's not happening. Because you're going to talk to one person and all of a sudden it's 2 hours and it's midday and you're like, oh my God, now I really need to go and start work. Now, that is a bit distracting. However, you've just had so many ideas on ways to improve your companies or ways to think about the future that you do get some value from it. What is that noise? Right, some Malaysian helicopter.
A chopper in an island. So it's distracting, especially if you have it can be distracting. It requires huge amounts of discipline.
Yes.
To cut those conversations, right? And the amount of knowledge gained from these conversations, the inspiration that we've been getting from this,
crazy.
The problems that people are tackling and what people care about. I don't know how Balaji and his team.
Yeah.
To get this group of people here together like that. It's crazy.
Honestly insane. So I'm so grateful and happy I got the chance to meet everyone here, get connected, get to know them. But then my bank account is set up. I need to go back.
The bank balance is saying.
So
like boom.
Yeah. Hey, I got a mortgage and rent here is just like, all right, what am I gonna do? Anyway. So anyway, I'm going back home on Monday, cranking out this podcast anyway, because I actually want to talk to, there's a dude we're going to have on this podcast. I'm speaking it into existence. An amazing guy called Sterling. We're going to talk to him about anarchy and all this network state stuff. I hope you're ready for a lot of information.
Yeah. I think when you say anarchy, people may go with the traditional meaning.
Oh, yes. It doesn't mean burning stuff down and all of that. Anarchy just means without hierarchy, without
no slaves, no masters.
No slaves, no masters. And that resonates, you know, because before, if you know nothing about anarchy, you just think it's like burn everything down. It's like, no. It's like, how do you have a society that sort of can govern itself without any kind of top-down rule?
It's like decentralized communities, decentralized governance.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's gonna be a great episode. So Sterling, we're looking forward to having you. Okay, so we've gone over some of the network school stuff. Do you want to talk a bit more about the stuff we've been doing here, or do you want to talk about BFC? I guess
some of the stuff that we've been doing here, if we could get time, we'll speak to some of the people. Right, getting into BFC. Let's get into BFC. Yeah. So I think by now we've given, I believe that what inspired it,
yes,
who we are,
yeah,
and why we're doing it.
But
do you think that's been clear? Like why we're doing it?
Yeah, why should be clear. But the what more concretely, we'll give like the short pitch. So you heard the sort of principles, and then sort of like the grand vision we sort of had was we wanted to have like a network state or network state node in South Africa. So our own like startup society essentially over there, and sort of that would be insane, and taking that to an extreme level, being like we're gonna turn Joburg into, or Gauteng, the province,
yes, sir,
into like the Silicon Valley of Africa, and have a venture studio that's gonna take all this talent and turn them into entrepreneurs, and they're all gonna flourish. That's like the sort of the grand vision. But to turn that into, obviously, you have to start somewhere. And we really just wanted to start with, let's do a hacker house or a community house. Just bring a group of people in together.
Highly aligned,
ideologically aligned people. So people that really want to work on these principles of improve mental health, improve physical health, build community capable of collective action, and build wealth and power. Like people that want to push those things forward, have them all come in and we build. We work on doing those things. One of the things we wanted to make sure we do was to have a entrepreneurial activation program. So partner with WITS and start to go and speak to the students there and sort of educate them on like the more of the entrepreneurship side of like computer science and how to go about doing that.
How to productionize that. How to create products. Not productionize.
How to build products
out of
from the skills that they have.
Yeah.
And that, we spoke about why that would be super powerful, super important. And yes, and then we were going to have like the hacker house we were going to talk about. So we actually pitched this to Biology. So Biology has these office hours and he was like, all right, guys, come, you can book in some time with me, 10 minutes. That's what we had. We had 10 minutes.
Chat your chat.
What do you say? Talk that talk. You could ask him for advice. You could ask for investment. You could ask for whatever you want. He'd probably say no. But at least you had the opportunity. And maybe you can talk about this story.
So we pitched to him, and his immediate response was, "Great idea. But the short response is, no, I'm not gonna find you to do this in South Africa. However, if you were doing it in Rwanda, I would consider."
He said, "I can provide a seed investment."
I was taken a bit aback by that. But then almost immediately that whole issue with safety and security in South Africa came up again.
Yes.
So please, the people that are badmouth in South Africa,
you're blocking your chances, bro. You're blocking your blessings.
You're blocking investments. Please.
Hey,
together as a country.
Hey, Balaji this. Like Balaji literally said, I'm not a buyer of South African land. But I'll give you money if you do it in Rwanda. And we're like, Rwanda? Rwanda? And he said,
the people that are currently in South Africa, please.
Hey, leave it alone. You're blocking your blessings, bro.
The charts, so we need to solve problems. Stop this.
But he cited 2 points, which was government alignment and safety. And we tried to like prove him wrong by looking at the data. We couldn't do it.
It's not looking good.
Yeah, it wasn't looking good, bro. It wasn't looking good, bro.
It's not looking good. We're too honest with our stats.
So we were like, but we spoke about it with other people on the program. What the hell?
I think we may have to wrap this up. When these monsters.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Annoying. But anyway, we couldn't refute his points. So we did like a study of Rwanda like for the next 3 hours after we spoke to him, and we're like, shit, he got a point. It's the second safest city on the continent.
The
Singapore of Africa, the Switzerland of Africa. It's like ease of doing business. The streets are clean. They got infrastructure. We were about to finish this podcast episode. We need to wrap it up quick because someone wants to drill the walls next to our place. So to end the podcast, we're going to say we are working on doing what we wanted to do in South Africa, but in Rwanda, building a hacker house, a community house, a 3 month like pop-up house, inviting people to join us and do essentially the entrepreneurship activation, build things for the people, educate the people there, and and for the people in the house, learn together, burn together. So personal trainer, gym, similar stuff to what we have at the start of school. Go on cultural trips. So go to the museums, go to the safaris, even visit countries in close proximity. And also we got a lot of people, Natty has a lot of pull in the region of having top AI researchers come in to speak. Yes, again, a lot of people from the startup school who are crypto people are going to come and speak because they really want to support building a network state in Africa. And it's going to be awesome. And
there are great opportunities as well for like to give back to the communities because we don't want to just take and take, you want to give back. I think Rwanda is really on the rise and there's a lot of, it's actually branding itself as the test bed for AI and tech solutions. So we will be hoping to pioneer some new products in Rwanda, global products still, but we're just starting in Rwanda, and volunteering opportunities as well within the communities. So I think on the next episode we'll get more into details on the what.
Yes. So I appreciate everyone who's listened so far, and we'll see you next time.
If you've made it this far, we have a Discord channel.
We'll drop the link. If you're interested in signing up already, doing the pre-order to come to Rwanda, and to our mansion in Rwanda, we have to make that clear. And really joining this program and bettering yourself and also the community around us, feel free to fill that form out. And
and shout out to Paula Ingabire from
South Africa, the Minister of ICT and
Rwanda.
Innovation. What did I say? What country did I say?
South Africa.
I mean Rwanda.
From Rwanda, she's doing amazing things.
Amazing stuff. I've got TikTok.
Hopefully we can get to meet her.
For sure. It looks like they're not going to drill anymore. But we're closing out.
We're safe now.
Anyway. We'll see you again on the next episode.
All right. Thanks, yo.
If you support the ideas, the values of the BFC, feel free to follow us on Twitter. Rido20, REIDO20. I don't even know if that's my Twitter, to be honest. I'll put it in the links.
Also, I think another thing is, we're not acting like what's that Kanye thing? You ain't got the answers, wait.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys got feedback, some angles that you...
Yes, leave it in the comments.
So leave it in the comments. Contact us on our social medias, I think.
Yeah, we ain't hiding.
We're not hiding. We're not saying we've got the answers, but we're starting something and we want... The whole theme about this, about collective action. So it's not collective action if it's just the two of us.
Facts.
So we're open to feedback. All sorts, shapes and sizes, forms.
Awesome. So to end, let's build collective wealth and achieve generational freedom. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.